Have you here? It doesn't like ding when it goes live, so I just have to keep looking. Uh, yeah, it is a Thursday morning, a great Thursday morning. You get on, say hi. We'd like to shout out to you. Um, oh, it's got a warning that we are live on YouTube, so that's a good thing. It's looks like it's gonna be a really nice day out today. I don't know. I've got a fan going, but it's trying to blow away my pagers here. So, yeah. So yesterday, I got home after church and pretty much passed out. I watched one cooking show, I think, but kids got in bed and we was out. I was tired yesterday for sure. Um, yeah. Anything good going on this weekend? It's one of the few weekends, right? There's no. It's like the calm before more storm because there's no holidays right now. Um, we just got done with Father's Day. We got a break, and then we're gonna have the 4th of July. That's always a crazy weekend. But yeah, it's a great. I guess 4th of July is not next weekend though, or is it? Today's the 24th. It'll be close, right? Is July 4th on a? I think July 4th must be on a Monday. So that weekend will be a little different. I always actually liked Mondays. Is July 4th on a Monday or a Sunday? I'm going to check my calendar. Okay, so July 4th is on the Sunday. So I used to sell fireworks. Used to do that every year. I did it for a long time. It was something that just by happen chance, really, the church and school got involved with it. And so what ended up happening was that the school took one of the the tent locations, which was the one at Walmart on 31, and then the church helped down at the fireworks tent at Meyer on 135, and then we had a tent on the Meyer on Southport Road, and so we had 3 tent locations that year. So there was a lot of people, like the sports players helped the 31 location, and then the church kind of helped the further location on 135. But then on Southport, it was kind of like we were spread too thin. So there was a family that they took that one, and there was some church members I think that helped out that year. But I know I ended up helping out a lot there on Southport Road, and I actually really enjoyed the fun. It was exciting. So the year following that, I think, and I could be wrong here, but we still kept all 3 locations. But I think what ended up happening was the one on Meyer ended up going to supporting the church, but it was ran by a family. And then the basketball one, the school one, got ran by, I think, the Lockards. Mike Lockard, I think he helped run it. And then I took over running the one in Meyer 135. And so did that. And then the very next year, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it was the very next year, we dropped all of them but one because it was just too much. And I took over the one at Meyer on Southport. And then I did that for, I don't know, a lot of years. And then we, like, the very next year, like that I think we did it that second year, and maybe it was that third year that I took over the one on Meyer on Southport Road. I don't remember for sure, but we became like the special tent. Like everyone had to come and look at it. So we were like the display tent because Mom and I and my family, we just did a really good job with Kelly and Dad. Everybody helped. It was really a family thing. put it all together and did it. So we were in fireworks for a very long time. I say all of that to say, for those of you that don't like fireworks, this year, in my history of being around fireworks, this setup usually ends up being the setup that people shoot the most fireworks off. Whenever 4th of July was on a Sunday, people shot off the most fireworks because they have off the entire weekend, and most people have off on Monday. And so what ends up happening is that they go and it's Friday night and they shoot off all their fireworks. So they come back on Saturday and they buy more fireworks thinking that they're going to wait until Sunday to shoot them off, which they don't. They shoot them off on Saturday because kids want to, right? The guys, all the husbands and the dads can't wait, so they start shooting them off. So then they come back Sunday and they buy more fireworks and they shoot those off. And then they always came back on Monday trying to get deals. Now, most places had deals. The place I worked for didn't really do that, but that's just my thing. So, word of advice, not this weekend, but next weekend, probably going to be fireworks all weekend. So just get ready for it. I mean, I have kids. We try to get them in bed at the right time. It's going to be crazy Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So just be prepared for that. So let me say good morning to those, and then let's get jumped into our verse this morning. Martha Stratton, good morning to you. So happy to have you. Zara Mallory, good morning. Shirley Bikeman, good morning. Judy Marsh, good morning. James Moore, good morning on YouTube. Christy, good morning. Laura Compton, the kitchen's checking in. Oh, so we got Laura and James, and it is James's birthday. So everybody, make sure you reach out to James, let him know happy birthday. We'll have to, maybe we'll see. We have to go get some cookies or something. I don't know. We'll do something. We'll see. Happy birthday, Christy says to James. And then Evelyn Fuentes, good morning to you. So glad to have you. All right. So let's get in. I will continue saying hi to those that show up. James, just so you know, James Moore on YouTube. So James to James says happy birthday. I know those on Facebook don't see the YouTube comments, so I'll make sure I share that. In 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, 1 Thessalonians period, Paul is writing to those people in Thessalonians, and he's trying to explain a bunch of different things, right? He's trying to tell them about Timothy. He's encouraging them. He's doing all of this stuff. But what he wants to do at the very end, he kind of brings this all together. And he says, we ask in verse 12. I'm going to actually read verses 12 through, through some. But then the main verse we're going to look at is verse 10. But listen, he says, we ask you, brothers. This is how he ends his letter here, We ask you, brothers, to respect those who labor among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you, and to esteem them very highly in love because of their work. Be at peace among yourselves. Urge you, brothers, admonish the idle, encourage the faint-hearted, help the weak, be patient with everyone. See that no one repays anyone evil for evil, but always seek to do good to one another, to everyone. Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances. Do not quench the spirit, do not despise the prophecies, test everything, hold fast to that which is good, abstain from every form of evil. And so he's given them this benediction, he's given them this final thing, and he's saying, listen, this is all the stuff, but here is why he kind of encapsulates all of that after what he says in verse 10, which is what I want you to see this morning, which is the focus, this morning. It's talking about God, Jesus Christ. And it says in verse 10, who, that's being Jesus Christ, died for us, so whether that we are awake or asleep, we might live with him. Here is the thing that Paul is trying to get, and then he goes into his list, right? Here is the thing Paul is trying to get the people of Thessalonians to understand, is that there is no separation between real life and spiritual life. In the context of, we do not go about our normal day and then have spiritual moments. Hopefully that's I'm explaining that properly. I'm saying this properly. We do not live life in bubbles where we say, hey, I'm going to do my Christian thing over here, my worldly thing over here, and my other thing over here. Right? So it's not like, so it's just like me, right? I'm a husband. I'm not a husband when I'm around Anna, and not a husband when I'm not around Anna. I'm a husband. We live in Christ, whether we're asleep or awake, whether we're working or not working, whether we're eating or not eating. And here's the thing, here's what's fantastic. Like, we see Jesus exemplifying this throughout his life. This is why, like, people ask, why is there a story about him feeding people, like feeding the 5,000, feeding the huge groups, right? Feeding these massive people. Why? Well, because he's still God when we're eating. He's still God when we're tired. He's still God when we're sleeping. He's still God when we're going through storms. He's still God when we're doing work. He's still God when we're on our break. He's still God when we're resting, when we're on vacation, when we're just relaxing. He is still God, and because he is, we should still live in him even in those moments. So we don't say to God, hey, God, I'm sorry, I'm going to go eat real quick, I'll be back. Hey, God, I'm going to go to work and I'll be back later. Hey, God, I'm going to go on vacation, I'll see you in a week. Like, these are not statements that we make. They're not, and normally we don't make the statements, but we live this way. We think this way. We're going to pray and talk to God and then go eat. I don't know how many conversations and situations I've been in where I've been floored because we'll pray for our food, right? We thank God for our food. We ask blessing on our food, whatever. And we do that. We talk to God. We thank him. We say amen. And we go right into discussing something that's not God honoring. Because we think in our brain, we stop for a moment. We talk to God and now we're going to go walk away. Now we're going to go do our thing. Now we're going to go into our normal life. I don't know how many people will go to work and they act a different way than they do when they're at home or when they do when they're at church. Like, there should be no difference in the way that we respond to anything. There should be no difference in the way that we act, whether we're eating, we're drinking, we're working, we're doing whatever. It shouldn't matter what we're doing. We are still with Christ. We are still in him. We are still around him. We are still partaking with him in all of those moments. I think it is why it is extremely important to realize that Jesus was human. And while he was human, he was still showcasing all of the attributes of God, because being fully human, he was fully God. So he hungered. So he ate. And when he ate, he partaked with other people. And in the middle of his partaking, in the middle of his being with people, he would talk about things of God. He would discuss things of God, because it should be a part of our life at all times. When he was working, when they're fishing or they're cleaning nets or they're building things or they're doing other stuff, they're walking, they're doing a work, he is still talking, he is still living, he is still communing with God. It never stops. There's never a moment where we do real life and then come back to our spiritual life. So your activities, what you do when you go, it doesn't matter if you go paintballing or you go bowling or you go, riding your Jeeps in the woods, or you're sewing, you're watching TV, you're cooking, you're camping, you're doing whatever. All of those moments are still with God, and we should still be living with him even in those moments. When we're doing our things with our friends, when we're having our time, our relaxing time with our friends, and we're refreshing, right? All good, all things that we should do. We're having our evenings and we're going to dinners and we're doing these things. God is still there. We should still be trying to honor him even in those moments, because he's still with us. We're still living with him in those moments. It's not that we separate those moments from God. It is, like people, right? We say goodbye and we go do something else. And there are things that I say, hey, my kids stay at my parents' house, so they're going to go over there. Then I'm going to go do something else because my kids are over there. And then while I'm out, I don't act as if my kids are still with me. I have fun with my friends. I mean, I act different when my kids are there, not in an acting sense, but we do things different, right? So I might have different activities, or we might go to different food places and things of this nature because my kids are there. That's normal. That's humans. And sometimes what we do is we do the same thing with God. You might go shopping with your mom, or you might go doing other stuff, but you would act differently when you were with your friends. Because we're humans, that's what we do. We sometimes act that way. But with God, we shouldn't, because there's never a time where he's not there. There's never a moment where we're away from him. And so we need to be reminded what Paul is saying here. We need to be reminded that whether we are awake or asleep, we live in him. And we focus. We understand and realize that he is there, that he is around us, and we are living in him no matter what. No matter if we're kicking our feet up, right? We're going to go on vacation here later this year. And I'm going to have a blast. But we need to remember that Jesus is still with us there too. That we're still living in him there also. It's not he's staying here while we go on vacation. And so, there's this idea that we need to be constantly reminded and focused that God is there. That he is active, he is around, and we need to remember that and then do a life that is worthy and honoring of him. And so, I just think it's a good reminder, because I think we separate those. We put things in boxes all the time. So I want to say hi, because I know a few more people jumped on. Anna, good morning to you. Linda Napper said good morning. Evelyn, autopilot release is present. Yeah, it's true there what you're saying, Evelyn, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we realize that he is there. Jesus is there with us. God is with us, right? If we are Christians, we carry that throughout. And so we should not go into an autopilot mode and just forgetting and just doing life as normal. We need to be present in the sense of understanding that every moment, every opportunity, whether we're eating, drinking, sleeping, playing, goofing off, whatever, we need to be present in the sense of knowing that that time is being used by God to do something. God uses relaxation. God uses eating. God has time by himself. God has all of these other things, and Jesus showed us that. We need those things too, but we need them with God. We need vacations with God. We need time alone with God. We need to eat with God. We need, relaxation and recharging with God. All of those things is what we need, because those are going to be the best. There's never a moment where you need to be without God, because that would be not a good moment. So I love you guys. That's 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 10. 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 10. Love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Bye.